Good morning, I make you welcome. This is Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television. I am Henry Igwebike. Let's start with our newspapers this morning, and possibly from there, we would move on to our main conversation also for today. Do well to be part of what we do, have a say in what we say. You can find us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. Very so honored to have with me, joining me right here in our studios, Emeka Madunago, journalist, public affairs analyst, to see through what we have from our newspapers, and possibly we'll move straight to our main conversation for today. Good morning, Emeka.
Yeah,
thank you so very much for the time. Now let's start off today. Interestingly, we have 4 newspapers, and we hope that the time we have would permit us the opportunity of going through some of them. And let's possibly start with the Guardian newspaper this morning. Peter Obi Atiku's 2027 bid wobble as defection internal strive rock Labour Party PDP. And also we have Wike mocks defectors as Diri dumps PDP with 21 Bayelsa lawmakers. We also have Otompolo contributes 10 billion to Delta Security Trust Fund. That's an awesome one there. And we equally have another interesting story. Katsina government not part of communities negotiating with bandits, says rather as the governor of the state there. Nigeria's revenue to output ratio may drop to 9.2% by 2030. IMF wants reps probe 35 million brass modular refinery project. Emeka, let's start with Katsina here. It's actually hard to understand what is going on in Katsina right now. The home state of late President Muhammad Buhari. Katsina government not part of communities. We saw all that happened, the viral video of the bandits who came in droves with their motorbikes and had a wonderful time with the communities in the presence of the authority, in the presence of security personnel. And the governor is saying that they have no hand with the communities that negotiated with them.
No, the governor is not being honest. How can communities be negotiating with bandits? And the governor is saying he doesn't know about it. They should tell us another story. They should just say they've run out of ideas on how to engage the bandits, and therefore the communities have been left on their own. You see, the job of, the constitution says that government shall be for the security and well-being of the people. And so therefore, when a governor, when a state government starts giving such excuses, what it means is that the people have been abandoned to their fate. The people have been left on their own. And then, so on what basis are you governing people you've abandoned? That is unacceptable. The only thing is just, everyone trying to just play safe, trying to play safe, Otherwise, it's actually, there is a commander-in-chief, there's a president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces whose job is to lead engagements with non-state actors. So whether you are negotiating with them, excuse me, whether you are bombing them, whether you are capturing them and putting them on trial, it is the commander-in-chief whose duty it is to lead the charge.
Very well. Now let's move on to the Punch newspaper. Also, we have big story: Hurricane Tinubu, mass defection ignites one-party state fear. And on the top strip there, we have Jonathan Slam's successor for abandoning Bayelsa project. Presidential jet still unsold 4 months after listing. Inflation drops to 18.02% in 6 months straight. Mecca, is that not another funny one from Cardoso? How would inflation be dropping and Nigerians can't still afford whatever
what
it
is
is
happening is that inflation is not dropping. Inflation is easing.
It's easing.
You see, what these people are trying to be, very smart. Now, inflation is not dropping. What has happened is that, in July, inflation rose by certain percentage. Then in August, the rise was slower than it did in July. The rise, was slower in August. You know, so that is what has happened. It's not as if inflation has dropped. Because if inflation drops, we will see it in the drop, you know, of goods and services. Yes, you might say certain things have dropped because we're in harvesting season. So a lot of these things, you know, are out there, you know. I mean, farmers, you know, harvests are really coming out to the farms.
So when we talk about inflation, are we just referring to consumables or everything that you mentioned?
Headline inflation,
services and all that.
Food inflation.
Okay.
Because we're majorly a consumer nation. So food inflation is a major issue. The cost of goods, the cost of food items, cost of transportation, rent, and all of those things, education. So these are major things to consider in determining inflation. But the big elephant in the room that's not often talked about is government's borrowing. It's government borrowing that actually influences inflation. So you can see that government had, you know, they brought out different bonds, different treasury bills. Now the Euro bond is going to mature anytime from next month, you know, I mean, so that was a major bond. There was also the other bond, you know, domestic bond, dollar domesticated bond domesticated in Nigeria, you know, which they said, you know, was oversubscribed. But when there's oversubscription, what they are not telling us is that it's not maybe like a lottery.
Yes.
It is actually government borrowing, people financing government borrowing. And that was why President Bola Tinubu made a significant statement that a lot of people glossed over. He said government doesn't need to borrow locally anymore.
Yeah.
And that is it. He actually made a tacit admission that many people glossed over. That government borrowing, reckless borrowing, not just the federal government, the federal government, state government, local governments, borrowings, their borrowings had actually pushed up inflation. Then you add insecurity to it. Then you add the cost of transport, the falling state of infrastructure in Nigeria. So when you add all of these things, you will see why we have double-digit inflation. And now, you know, we're supposed to, I mean, if he's really serious about that, then pay off contractors. Pay off contractors, pay off your treasury bills. Let the treasury bills mature. And then reduce interest rates. The other day, the CBN, they reduced the basis points. You know, but it's expected that they will go very low. Now, what I say is that, you know, the monetary authorities are trying to play smart.
Okay.
They are trying to be very careful because it is actually in the portfolio investment that you've had much inflows, foreign direct investment, FDI. Yes. They will be telling you that foreign investors are coming. Come on.
So not the real economy. They have not invested in
portfolio. You see, people are opening factories. Let's not make mistakes. People are opening factories. Production is going on.
Yes.
But not at the level that you see, you know, is stimulating massive employment. Not at the level that is stimulating massive export. Because if you have huge exports and then, you know, inflows of dollars, of foreign currency and all of that, you can see now that the GDP, you know, manufacturing will go up. If you can deal with power supply, if manufacturing improves, you will see that the GDP will do better. And then the pressure to keep borrowing will ease off because government will be able to get more taxes,
yes,
you know, from more sectors. But a situation where you have pumped so much into the grid, and then you're even taking a $2 billion loan for a super grid, when companies, big companies, like Dangote Refinery, are running away from the grid, even you, the presidential biller, you run away from the grid. Dangote Refinery generates 1,500 megawatts. You can imagine what that is. How many states? How many states that is? You can imagine that is 1/3.
1,500 megawatts.
Yeah.
Why Nigeria itself generates nothing
That's about 5,030
Imagine.
megawatts. So if Dangote alone generates 1,500 megawatts, that's 1/3 of the entire thing that we push through the national grid. So when you don't have a Dangote on your national grid, all these big steel companies, You can imagine the cement manufacturers. You can imagine different companies, are not on the grid. So how do you now make the economy better? Because self-generation, I was talking to somebody yesterday, said that self-generation is not necessarily cheaper.
It's not.
Because just like running a generator continually.
Exactly. Yes.
So you depend on maybe gas or diesel. Even solar. Investing in solar. Look at the 10 billion that the presidential villa put into solar. Put that 10 billion on, if you put that 10 billion into the grid, you can imagine what it will produce. You can imagine the taxes that got the revenue that will accrue to government.
Because those are responsibilities of the government, actually. They make money and they invest in all of those things. Yes.
You have discos and gencos.
Yes.
But again, when you are owning gencos, the debts are almost getting to 5 trillion. When band A residential consumers are 40% of those on national grid, how do you want to do that? How do you want to max that out? Residential consumers in the morning they go to work. So, unlike factories, there are factories that you cannot shut down their machines. If they set their machine, they can set their machines, for continuous production cycles. So you can't put off the machine at all. Some machines just keep running. They keep running on power. So when you have that, you will be more serious. If you take your manufacturing sector more seriously, you will do something about the national grid. But a situation where you are now fighting yourself, and that's what has been happening with this administration. They will set up one policy. Here. Let me just use this more as an illustration. This one policy. Then they will bring something else to counter it. You are talking of improving the national grid.
Yes.
At the same time, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission is giving licenses for self-generation. How do you now meet up? How? You are now begging those who have run away from the grid to come back to the grid. Whereas you are the one who has been dangling licenses at them. It should not be like that. It should not be like that. We need, look, now Boa refinery is coming on stream very soon in Akwa Ibom. So let's imagine Boa consuming about, let's say, even if it's 500 megawatts. You have Water Smith in Oborevwori. You have the Asanot or Haji in Ogaspa, which is the largest in Nigeria. Now, imagine all of them on the national grid. So what it means is that Dangote and Asanot alone will take everything that Nigeria needs.
Yes.
Everything. But if you now have all this, so what it means is this: you need to do something fast about the national grid. Productivity must increase because, you know why? The World Economic Forum there are projections that Nigeria's population in the next 5 years will get to 400 million. Between 401 million and 450 million. And now 65% of that will be people under 35. So when you have a youthful population and then you have 5,000 megawatts, how do you meet up with that? So what it tells is that Nigeria is where the market is. So we must do all we can to ramp up production. All this nonsense about politics, defection and all that. That to me, we are missing the point. We are missing the point. As far as I'm concerned, you can scrap the parties. If we don't want political parties, let's scrap them. Look, let's scrap them because these days people don't vote based on political parties. People vote because, oh, this man, the way he speaks, I like the way he speaks. So this man, he looks intelligent.
They don't even care about which party he belongs to.
Some don't even know. Some will be asking. Some will be asking in the polling booth. That man, where they talk with, which party will be? Yes. Or the man who can drop more bags of rice, give them money. Now you have see and buy. So when you vote, you cast your vote, you now turn your ballot paper, so that their agents
would get to capture that.
So that is it. So all of these defections make no meaning. They are meaningless. Because those governors, for instance, are defective for personal reasons. Somebody like Diri of Bayelsa, a second-term governor,
Exactly. A second-term governor.
Yes.
What's the defecting
All
for?
he just tells you is that he has ambition to go back to the Senate. One. Two. He wants to have a free hand to choose his successor. Three. He doesn't want EFCC to come near him. And that is it. So when you look at all of these things, it's just about persons. Okay, guarantee vote. You see the man in Edo State, you can see what he's doing. That he will give President Tinubu 2.5 million votes. You don't even fix the roads in your state.
And asking his commissioners, anyone that fails to come with that Siwaju cap.
But on the day of election, are you going to stand with the commissioners to know who voted for whom? You see, all of these things are just, chasing shadows. These people have not learned any lessons. And it's all about personal gains. It's all about personal ambition. And the media is also part of the problem. We are not talking about the real issues. I wouldn't run, if I was running a national newspaper, I wouldn't lead with defections. No way, it will be at the bottom. Because what is it? What? Okay, you say yes, that governors, they advertise and all of that. So what? If I put in more effort, can't I run my paper without depending on political patronage and all of that? Or with due respect to them, that is for them. I don't fancy that kind of business model. But for crying out loud, we should be talking about the economy. Because every minute women are giving birth in Nigeria. Every minute women are giving birth. And the birth rate remains high.
High, yeah.
So as long as the birth rate remains high, so long will our population keep increasing. Where are you going to keep those people? What are your projections for housing? For school? Now, ASU is on strike again. Public universities have raised their fees very high. The Guardian did an investigation recently that if somebody had to go to, study medicine and surgery in some institutions on student loan for 6 years, the person will have to pay back 51 million naira. 51 million naira a student loan.
In Nigeria?
In Nigeria. I mentioned the paper now, the Guardian. I didn't just say it from it's in the Guardian. So that the person, they mentioned the institution, but I've forgotten the name of the institution. They mentioned about 1 or 2 or 3 institutions. So, if somebody, they've been touting student loan, but the danger there is that, tell me which student, which parent will want their child to go and rack up 51 million.
As loan.
It's not that you are setting up a cement company. It's not that you are setting up a bakery or water production factory that will be running night and day shifts so that you can pay back the loan. Even if it's interest free, 51 million naira, how much is your salary? Even if you are earning 2 million naira a month, you know what 51 million is? So, we need to realign our priorities. It's very simple. And we have to look at the economy. We must be more productive. That is the key thing. Otherwise, the world will leave us behind. We are still fully based on oil. Yes, because oil is a very simple resource. Just extract it, extract and... But the Navy, Civil Defense, they are massed Niger Delta, destroying these illegal refineries, what they call coal fire in local power. But the Petroleum Industry Act of 2021 grants that communities can set up, can get licenses for modular refineries and refine. Why is the federal government not encouraging communities that instead of engaging in artisanal refining and polluting the environment, why not go and take a license? Look for partners. Maybe about 20, 50 communities can come together and say, okay, go on a joint venture. And say, okay, we have so and so and so advantage. Now, let us refine. Of course, crude is something that can be piped. It can be shipped. You can put it in tankers. Yeah. You can carry crude, so it's not a big deal. So since they are close to the pipeline, you can actually work it out for them. The Petroleum Industry Act has said it. So when you do things like this, you will see the communities will have a stake. International oil companies are expected to commit 3% of their profit to host community development trust funds. Now, if some communities come together and say, okay, that 3%, instead of using it to go and build school and all, help us bring it and let us put it in as counterpart funding. In addition to our equity, the equity we had as oil-bearing communities, let us set up a refinery.
But speaking about that, I do not know why or the details to this particular story. Reps probe $35 million brass modular refinery project. So does that mean that they are not
committed money to it? But somehow, I don't know what is.
Some people,
some big men
fiddled it out.
Yes, that's the problem. That's why you see, like in the mining sector, we're having problems. Artisanal mining, and then we have the big guns, foreigners, who come in, and they just extract our resources. And they fly away. There are illegal airstrips all over the country, and it's been confirmed that they are the ones funding many of these so-called bandits. So, to engage in land grabbing. So, what do you expect? You must redirect. You see, if you want to fight poverty, go to the grassroots. Go to the people. Make the people stakeholders. Make the people stakeholders. Let the people become a part of the process of generating revenue for the country. Don't give them rice. No, you are demeaning them. What you need to do, take all those communities, take a register, turn them to shareholders. Let them be able to set up modular refinery. But when government commits money into the hands of people who are just ready, who are more interested in food is ready, ventures, you will just keep probing and probing and probing. No. What you should do, the host communities development fund, host communities, of Nigeria, their president, Dr. Michael Emu, has said clearly, here the press conference said clearly that government should put pressure on the oil on those IOCs to fulfill their bargain on those host communities development trust funds. And when they do that, it will help, it will be a way that government can fight poverty.
Now, doing like that of Tantita with Tompolo, is that what you're talking about?
No.
Equipping the host community to be part of safeguarding the resources.
If you do that, what I've said, Tompolo's contract will be revoked.
If you do what exactly?
If you make host communities, if you empower them to be able to get licenses and set up modular refineries, Tompolo will be out of business. You don't need Tompolo. You're paying $4 billion every month. You don't need a Tompolo. Because when you make the host communities stakeholders, I mean, this pipeline, let's say this an oil well, is in my father's compound. Why would anybody come and...
Okay, they will protect it themselves.
They will protect because
and Tompolo will not have any reason to want to go around the Niger Delta.
Who will Tompolo be pursuing? Who? No, who will Tompolo be pursuing? Because the people
are part of...
They are in the... And that is where you see empowerment. That is a real empowerment. Not giving people rice, giving them 50,000. That's nonsense. Empower them. Those areas, let them... Look at in Imo State. The governor, Hope Uzodinma, installed solar street lights on some places. In some places. Within a few days, those solar street lights were stolen. And I said, ask the people, did you call the communities to a meeting before you to say this is what we are planning to do?
Or do you want this?
No, they want it. They want it to. But they could have told you that, okay, as an addition to this, please give us loans, or help us to get solar panels at maybe single digit, interest rates, so that we can also power our businesses, on the roads and all of that, so that our children can have light to do their homework at night, to study at night. I believe you've seen pictures of children studying under
some of the solar street lights.
Yeah. So, if people have solar panels in their homes, it can mitigate the irregular power supply. And you do some of these things, they can, get loans. You understand? You can get loans, and you just make things happen in their communities. There are those who will charge phones. There are those who will do one thing. They will do one thing, and the people are engaged. The same way they will not allow somebody to climb to their roof to go and remove their solar panel. It's the same way they will not allow anybody to steal the solar street lights. It's as simple as ABC.
Because it's of immense benefit.
Yes, to them. Yes. But you don't just come and do a project without consult the people.
Very well said. We would have to leave it for now. We have so many other interesting stories, but for the want of time, we have to let it go for now. Emeka will be here to take out on our main conversation when we return. Tinubu consolidates power as governors of dumb opposition parties. That's in the beat. Enterprise Morning it is. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Thank you so very much for joining us. This is still Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television. On our main conversation, we have that as the 2027 general elections draw closer, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu appears to be tightening his political grip on the South, following a wave of defections by governors and key opposition figures from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and other parties to the All Progressive Congress, APC. The latest to exit the PDP is Bayelsa State Governor Douye, Diri, who resigned alongside the Speaker of the House of Assembly and 21 lawmakers, confirming months of speculations about his move. This follows similar defections by Governor Omoeno of Akwa, Ibom, Sheriff Oborevwori of Delta, and several other high-profile politicians, fueling speculation that more governors, including those of Abia, Rivers, Taraba, and Plateau, may soon join the ruling party. However, the growing wave of defections has sparked widespread concerns about the possibility of Nigeria sliding into a one-party state. Opposition leaders, including former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Gregory Obi, have described the mass movement as a desperate bid for political survival, accusing the APC of exploiting power to weaken democracy. They vowed that Nigerians would respond at the ballot box, blaming President Bola Tinubu's administration for worsening economic hardship and national decline. Meanwhile, PDP Governors Forum Chairman Bala Mohammed admitted that the defections have unsettled the party, but assured that efforts are ongoing to restore unity ahead of the party's forthcoming national convention. Let's get talking. I still have Emeka Amadunago. Emeka, the latest of them all, of course, is Pitamba of Enugu State, who has concluded his move, signed the deal. It's like a footballer signing to another club. So he did that and wore the robe of the new party and celebrated it also. Of course, Peter Obi has said that defection in the Southeast doesn't mean that the Southeast has been colonized or recolonized by the APC. What's your take on that?
Let me tell you, political party democracy is dead in Nigeria. There are no political parties. They are just, look, let me tell you, when INEC, okay, at the coming of the Fourth Republic, yeah, INEC was paying grants to political parties. And that's why you saw so many political parties.
Oh, really?
There was a party that held a convention in a room that's not bigger than this place. In a hotel, I think the restaurant of a hotel. Just gathered people, boy, come, just sit down, and go, nobody come. So INEC officials went there, and I don't want to call the name of the party. INEC officials went there and counted 1, 2, okay. These are national officers from different states.
Yes.
And they were paid. That was the meal ticket for for some people, including some activists. That was their meal ticket. Then later it was removed. And then all you saw was that, INEC now reduced the parties to 18. But some of the parties you see on the ballot, they don't have any identifiable presence. They don't have any political presence anywhere. They don't have anybody in any place. They don't have any elected. They don't have any elected government official. Anybody in in government elected. So now, since they were not getting grants from INEC, those platforms now became holding base. So during time of electioneering, whenever INEC now says, okay, it's time for parties to start holding primaries, they know that some people will not get tickets. So they'll reach out to them. Chief, if you don't get ticket, they were available. So that is another form of, negotiation, and horse trading. So
more like business. They're just running it like business.
It's business. This democracy is a business for many politicians. They are not interested in service or anything. That's why some of the things you hear them speak, you wonder if this one even saw the 4 walls of a primary school. Because you hear some of the things some of them say. You just know that they were, maybe somebody just quickly scribbled something, just say, hey, just say this. Okay, just talk about this. There's no connection with logicality. So now, President Bola Tinubu is one president who has, opened his arms wide to governors. Okay, come, let us sit down. Come, let's sit down, let's discuss. What do you want?
What do you want?
Okay, don't worry, this and this and this and this and this. Okay, we'll grant it, we'll do this, we'll do that. And then, the governor in his state doesn't want any opposition. But don't forget, the governors who told you they are defecting from PDP to APC are still in control of PDP. The people who say they are defecting with the governors to PDP, that they resigned, they are still holding their membership cards.
So what does that mean, really?
No, they should tell you, they should tell us where, they should show us the minutes of the meeting of their various wards where it was announced that they had resigned. Because when you resign from a place, now the next meeting, it will be read now. It will be part of the minutes of the meeting. But because you see, even those leading political parties have no agenda. So it's just about horse trading, just about business. Okay, people are coming to APC. Is it not they'll join APC? Is there any big deal? And no big deal. If you join APC and then your sins are forgiven, like Adam Socialman said some time back, then you join APC and then the government can approve, can back up loans that you want to take, and they will be put aside for 40 years. Because all these loans you see that 147 trillion naira that Nigeria is owing, the state governments have a chunk of it too. Remember, there was one governor that took 1 trillion naira and said, oh, we should have taken 1 trillion, we should have taken 500 billion. How is the state going to pay back the money? So, you see all of those loans, and Tinubu has been giving, special grants to states. Oh, this one for health, this one for infrastructure. You remember sometime earlier this year where they talked about, even last year, they talked about trailers of rice.
Yeah,
how they disappeared.
exactly.
Where did the trailers go to? National Assembly members said they didn't get anything. But some lawmakers came out and said, yes, we were giving. Where did it disappear to? It went back to the same markets now from where they were mopped up. And the mopping up of all these items from the markets was part of what drove up food prices. Yes. Why would a bag of rice cost 100,000? What is in rice that I should go and buy it 100,000? But that's what happened. Because politicians were just mopping up food items
at any cost.
Markets. Yes. And I heard that some of the rice in some places even developed mold because they were just kept in storage, not given to anybody. And the people are even rejecting them. Why will you give us rice? We heard the rice has mold. Why haven't you given it to us? The same thing they did under COVID. Items that government said they should distribute to the people, they now rebranded those items as gifts. That's the Nigerian position. Delinquent set of people who don't care about the people. All they care about is how they can loot the treasury. And that's why you see all these mass defections. It's meaningless. There is nothing. Are they going to control INEC? Do they control the voters? Do they control the collation officers?
But it has so much effect if you consider it that way, because the governor has lots of cards to play when it comes to electioneering. Because if a local government chairman, move along with him, they are in control of the grassroots, and when they say whatever, the grassroots sometimes would love to obey them.
Why was Tinubu defeated in Lagos by P2B in 2023? If the governor was so influential, I will bring out things.
But don't you think that's a mistake that they have promised? It's one mistake they had promised not to allow happen again.
Many of them are leaving by 2027, so the commitment is not there. When their parties produce candidates, you'll be surprised that some of the governors will not be happy with the choice of candidates for governorship, deputy governorship, senate, reps, House of Assembly. You'll be surprised. You will see all these things. All these things will play out. Because you have what we call Baba Sokwe crazy. That is Baba Sokwe. The Baba, one Baba somewhere has said that this man should be allowed as candidate. Because don't forget, there are people who have been on ground in APCO. They are the foot soldiers. There are people whom your boys beat up during the last election. They beat them up. Some people were killed. They lost people. Their houses were burnt. And then, because your party had to win. And then, you are not leaving your party and coming to their party. After they suffered those losses in 2023, you are not coming in 2027 again to deny them of benefit. No, you will see. By the time 2026 is just by the corner now. By maybe April or May 2026, when INEC will start releasing, when they will have to do their conventions, a local government, ward, local government, state, congresses,
yes,
in a national convention. Then you will see whether these defections make any meaning. How are you going to tell me in Akwa Ibom, for instance, that Governor Moino, who is in his first term, will, say, no, okay, I'll give way to only Akpabio's candidates. Or Akpabio will sit back. The same Akpabio, take note to his own sister-in-law, his brother's wife, is already attacking him. And then they have been beneficiaries of his generosity. Now, with Governor Omoyeno now said, no, okay, Akpabio, you have helped me. All right, I will accept for your candidates to, for your own choices to become candidates. Is he going to allow that? Will they allow that? In Delta State, you have Oborevwori. Then you also have Omo Agege. Thank you very much. You have Omo Agege. Is Oborevwori going to say no more? That will Omo Agege say no? Mr. Governor, okay, I will concede 100 over 100 for you. All the candidates. Is he going to say that? Very well. Will Omo Agege, will Oborevwori answer Omo Agege? No, okay, bring 50%, I'll bring 50%. That is when you will know that there are some people who are more powerful than Omo Agege in APC in Delta State.
Very, very well.
Just go on state by state. So all of these things are just pretenses. The governors are just trying to dig in.
All right. All right, so we have to leave it for now. I wish we had the time, but of course, we have all other programs coming in, and we have to leave it for now. But please do well to follow us. You can find us at enterprisetvnews.com. Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.